Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're joining me again. My name is Sasha Reed. Today we've got a little lockdown tutorial. We've got what's called a bag in a box. Now this is an oldie but a goodie, and I'm going to share with you how to make these little bags. So getting started, you're going to need some adhesive. So I've got a liquid glue here. Some kind of circle punch or your cutting skills for a circle or some kind of shape, some string, some double-sided tape if you have it. If not, then the glue should do. You just have to hold it longer. A bone folder is quite helpful and handy for making creases, a bit of plain cardstock, and then a bit of decorative paper. Now you can also make this paper. If you've got stamps or coloring at home, you could color a picture. And then I've got a paper trimmer here. This is a Stampin' Up! One, and I've just used this because it's quick and easy for me. Scissors and a ruler will also work just fine. So you're going to start by cutting your base. Your base needs to be 4.5 by 4.5 inches. Next, you're going to score it at 1 inch on all sides. So I'm just sharing with you here how you can do it without a paper trimmer and without a scoring tool. So all you need is something like something solid that you can kind of draw a line down using your ruler to kind of indent your paper like so. So I've kind of creased it like that. And then all you're going to do is do all 4 sides 1 inch from each of the edges. Again, this is a 4.5 by 4.5 piece of cardstock in inches. So when you've done that and you've got all 4 sides, you're going to fold them over, give them a firm crease so that they fold nicely. Then you're going to take a pair of scissors and you're going to just snip the 2 ends opposite each other. Now make sure not to cut all 4 sides because then you'll have the squares missing and you need those little tabs to fold in. So what you're going to do next is take some adhesive. You can use your liquid glue, though you will have to pinch it and hold it for a little bit to make sure it sticks. Or in my case, I've used the double-sided tape. Glue dots will also work on this. What you want to do is just stick some down on each of those tabs, and then you're going to fold them up and adhere them to the edges, if that's making any sense, so that it creates a box basically. I just wanted to say a really big thank you to everyone that subscribes and likes my videos and leaves me a comment. I love reading your comments so much. It really does make my day and leaves a big smile on my face. There are a few of you that leave me a comment on every video. You really do warm my heart, and all the stay safe wishes has been so lovely, and I'm so grateful to all of you for leaving me comments and messages. Next up in this step, we're going to take our design paper or your homemade paper, and you're going to want to cut this to 5.5 by 11 inches. This is going to be our bag portion of our box. So a thinner paper is quite good, so that's where you can use up sort of your cheap designer papers if you have them, or use printer paper and do your own little design. Printer paper in the UK will work just fine because ours is longer than 11 inches. So all I'm doing here is adhering some of my double-sided tape to the bottom and one of the sides. Just make sure you're doing one of the sides. Next, you're going to line up your box right on the edge of the edge. So you've got the right hand edge and that bottom edge, and you're just going to press your box down to that bit of paper. Then all you have to do is roll your box along that edge. It's quite easy, it's hard to go wrong, and literally all you're going to do is just keep rolling it, press it down, roll it again, press it down, and you'll end up with the paper just kind of wrapping around the box. Now when you get to the final edge and you go around that corner, make sure to line up that paper along the bottom edge first, and then I found if I lined up then the top edge as well to make sure that's flush, the middle just kind of goes together and works out well. But if you kind of run it from the bottom to the top, sometimes the edge goes a bit wonky and you get kind of an off uneven top edge, if that makes sense. So there's our bag with our box in it. The next step we're going to do is we're going to create a little tie for the top. So this is where you could cut a couple circles or a couple shapes that are even shapes. So do 2 at the same time or 4 at the same time in my case, because I wanted to cover up the image on the inside and the outside. So I've used liquid adhesive for this just so that I have a bit of wiggle room. I can kind of squidge them around and line them up just perfect. And I'm making little tabs to go on the top. This is where I'm going to put the string. So I've kind of just showing you that you want to find the center of the bottom of your box and then kind of work out where the center would be at the top. And I just kind of run my finger along it to work it out. Now, if you notice here, I'm going to do the same thing on both sides, but what I should have done is use the crease side as the back of the box. Instead of used it for this side of the box, it doesn't look as nice. So do pay attention to where your crease is and make sure that you've got it the right way around. You'll see in my other examples that I've kind of corrected that. So all you can do is stick your 2 tabs on each side. Then I've got a hole punch. The best way to get this level, even hole punch is to pinch them together and punch through them both. Now if you don't have a hole punch, use anything pokey that you've got, lean it on something like a bit of foam and then kind of push through both layers, and that will kind of give you a hole. You just need some sort of hole to get through the top. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're going to put some string in. If you put enough string in, you'll cover up your messy hole anyways. So I've just got this twine here, some basic twine, and then you can just tie it shut. So this is perfect for putting some sweets in, a little gift, something nice and small. So it's quite a lovely little thing to have. You could make them up for your neighbors, leave them on their front porch, possibly with a little care package in it. Just something fun and nice. Now the last little bit is we're going to make up this bottom edge here. So if you can see that bottom edge, it looks just fine, but we're going to add a little border to it. When you cut your bit of cardstock for your border, I have cut it at 11 inches long, so the same length as your paper, by 2 inches. Now you can make this as wide or as narrow as you like, depending on what you want to do with it. I'm going to show you a couple different options. I'm going to show you with something that hopefully you probably might have in your stash, and then something that you may not. So you've got, I've got these border punches. This isn't the one that I used in my example, by the way. Worked out it was the wrong one. But I've also got these pinking shears. Now I picked these up at Aldi for about £2.99. Really cheap. You could leave it plain as a strip. You could decorate the strip with some stickers. You could doodle along the strip. I'm not so good with the doodling. I'm going to cut along the edge. It does look a little bit wonky, but when it's on the box, you can't really tell. At least that's what I tell myself anyways. But these are just pinking shears from like a sewing section in Aldi. And I've just cut it so that I've got a little bit of a decorative edge. You can also use an edge punch like this, as in my example here. Now that's where I'm like, oh, 2 inches is a bit wide. So you can do it as wide or as thin as you like. Now what you're going to do next is make sure that you're going to line that up with the crease, or with your first bit of paper, so that your crease ends up in the same place. So once you've kind of lined it up and creased it a bit, just to kind of get the groove of the box and the cardstock, you can take your double-sided tape or your glue if you have glue, but make sure you hold it on, because if you're using cardstock it will ping back a bit. And you're just going to add some on so that you can adhere it to the box. And I like to add it to the bottom and the top so that you get full adhesive all the way around your box, so that that doesn't start peeling off that little edge. Once you've got all your backing paper off, or your release paper, then you can go ahead and line it up in your box. Just make sure you're looking for that line inside your box to work out where exactly you started the first time. So I've looked inside, lined it up, and now when I go around the edge of the bottom of the box, that crease will line up with the other one from the paper bag. So that's our decorative bag, all finished and ready to go. Now I'm just showing you, you could pinch the sides in like that to kind of have it close like that, or you can leave it popped out and have it look more like a little bag. I don't know how to describe, my words are not with me tonight. But anyways, this is called a box in a bag. And that's literally all it is. And it takes about 10 to 15 minutes to make one of these. Really quick, really easy. And here's some other examples that I did. I have a little tab punch that I used on the tops of these bags from Stampin' Up! From years ago. I've got like a dinosaur, a border punch, and then that other border punch. And they took me probably about half an hour to make all three. So thank you so much for joining me. I am so pleased you came to hang out, and I hope you have a really, really awesome week ahead and keep safe. Do let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see more of these kind of lockdown quick and simple crafts. Lots of love to you all. Stay safe and stay in. Bye.